Oh, right, great. So, well, I must thank Bianca for having this brilliant idea. I'm in her house. So today in the morning she said, why don't you have a live on Instagram? So kudos, Bianca, your idea. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
it's my pleasure. We're having such a great time together. And I thought, why not? We've been exchanging so many ideas. We've been sharing so much, and I thought, why not share that with everybody else?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to talk about pricing. So before we start, I would like you to use the chat. Let us know what's the biggest question, the biggest problem you have in keeping with pricing. So use the chatting over there. What's the biggest problem, the biggest difficulty you have in keeping with pricing? In 45 seconds, can you let us know? I don't give the opportunity to turn on the light.
And we're live on mine as well. Hi, Fernanda. You can also join us. Hi, Marcia. Hello, Claudia. Hi. Thank you for joining us. And Julio just asked, what is your what are your biggest doubts and questions when it comes to pricing? We want to hear you. We want to hear you out. So send us the questions.
Yeah. Talita, we're not using our mobile. My mobile is actually here. I'm using the computer, so I don't think I can change that, unfortunately.
Why? Because you can't see us?
No, because it's in the vertical position, and she suggested it should be on the horizontal position.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think we can do that way. Parents always say the classes are expensive. You face that, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, you have to deal with that. Okay, we can see you both. Well, yeah, I can't. Yes, Elizabeth, I can't use the horizontal position because I'm using my computer. My mobile's over here. Because by using the computer, the audio is better and the video is also better. And I'm still learning to use the computer and keep with that. But I don't think I can change. I can change this. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so let's get started.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So the thing is, prices, a price for a service is always relative to something else. Something is cheaper or expensive when compared to another thing. My point is, when a prospect approaches you and and the person asks for the price and you let the person know the price straight away, there is a kind of problem over there because the person is not really into the benefits of the course. The person is not prepared to understand what is involved with the pricing for your services. So before I answer straight away how much it is, I always try to talk about the benefits involved in the English course. It's interesting because we tend to believe that our product is the English course and that's what we sell. And I don't agree with that point of view. I'm adamant that if you try to sell the benefits for the English course, so for instance, I deal with corporative people from Sao Paulo. So I don't sell business English classes. I sell chances for a better promotion. I sell chances for a higher salary. I sell the realization of a dream, for example. So I don't sell the English course per se, but I go even beyond that. I have a presentation already prepared. So when a prospect approaches me, I give this prospect a whole presentation of my service. So how much is it? I just say, well, let's talk about the services I provide. And then I go through my presentation. What do you do, Bia?
Well, first of all, I ask them what is it exactly that they need, because for every need is a different kind of pricing. Of course, I have a base price where I won't go lower than that, and then I add my taxes. Mm-hmm. I add all the things I learned from you.
Oh.
And depending on what parents need for their children, because I'm a young learner teacher, yeah, if you don't know me. And depending on what parents need for their children, my price will change a bit. But like you said, I sell the needs as well. So for example, this happens a lot. Parents come to me and they say, "Hey, Bia, my child doesn't like English. My child has all these affective barriers. His he doesn't want to go to classes anymore. I'm thinking about canceling his course and la da 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 da." So I go, hold up. There's a reason why this is happening. So let's narrow down like what's going on in the classroom and how can we change that? How many times a week do we need to work on that to make that positive change happen towards the language learning process? And then I can show them. I can finally show them the price. And what they feel is like, whoa, 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 this is really a customized service. This is really different from what I've been getting. And it really that's when they lower down their barriers and they go like, okay, it's kind of expensive, but it's worth it.
I think you used a very important keyword here. The more customized your services are, more you can charge for them. Especially because if you use a needs analysis, you're going to tap into the client's real needs or the client's declared needs. So you're not charging for English classes anymore. You're charging for solving problems. So then your price is anchored to the solution for those problems. So there is a story I always like to tell when I give workshops in many cities in Brazil through Brastiço. That happened about a year ago. There was an IELTS client and he approached me and he was interested in having IELTS classes. And by all means, I tried to understand the ins and outs of his needs for the IELTS classes. As a matter of fact, this prospect wanted to move to Australia with his family. And then I asked more about his family. So he's married with a kid. I think it was like a 5-year-old kid. And this father wanted to provide his family with safety, healthcare, education, to have a more comfortable and stable life. And then I thought, bingo, that's what I'm going to sell. I'm not going to sell the IELTS course. I'm going to sell better chances of making this dream come true. So then I kind of showed him my way of teaching. I talked about my stories of success. I even had some testimonials on my website, for example, and then it was a Zoom kind of interview. So then I went through all my portfolio, all my success portfolio, and I charged him about 140, 150 reais the hour. I don't remember right now, but it was between those lines, among those lines. So yeah, so we closed the deal. And we only closed the deal because I was not selling IELTS classes. I was selling the ticket for Australia to him, and he needed IELTS to make that happen.
They'll pay. I'll pay.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Because you have to get away from the product and think about the benefits. If you think about Starbucks, for example, Starbucks doesn't sell coffee. Starbucks sell a whole, I would say, atmosphere of benefits, of comfort, you can be there with your friends and have a very great time. The same applies to English classes. Don't focus on selling English classes. Focus on selling the benefits of being a proficient speaker in a country where 97% of the population don't have proficient English. And that's key to success.
Right, we've got some very interesting questions right here. Let's start from down to the bottom and up, okay? So I usually have people who call me and say they had a teacher who charged 40 reais. Well, the person who, first of all, they called you. So they're not happy with that 40 reais teacher,
True.
Right? And if there is a teacher who's charging 40 reais, that might suggest that he is worth his delivery, what he's delivering is worth 40 reais. Do you understand what Julio is saying? He is very important that we have to focus on what we're delivering. We're delivering a full experience, a full learning experience. Focus on our whys, on the differences that we are offering, and not on a product, because it is true. And Should we look at the other question?
Oh, actually, so for example, I'm a teacher trainer and I also deliver courses for teachers. So imagine this happens to me. I'm talking to a teacher and this teacher wants to go through some of the elements for CELTA. This teacher is kind of insecure to go straight to the CELTA and would like a kind of prep course for it. And then I tell him or her, I charge, let's say, 150 reais the hour. And then this teacher tells me, but Julio, there is this other teacher training charging 40 reais the hour. And I will say, well, yeah, that happens in the market. I do respect that. But let me show you my stories of success. Let me show you my testimonials. Let me show you how I go through CELTA preparation courses. Let me talk about what I can provide you with in such a way that you can be successful in your CELTA course. So I don't delve into the other 40 real teacher trainer. I talk about what I can provide this client with. It doesn't mean I'm going to sell all the time. This is impossible. No one can sell all the time. Sometimes prospects which are not our market niche are going to knock our door, and that's fine. But we should try to aspire for a 70%, 80% sales funnel. And we can maximize that using the adequate marketing tools. You have to have a persona. You have to have great communication skills towards this persona. You have to have marketing content that's going to attract this type of client. So again, I work mostly with business people. So my content is related with business people. The word of mouth I have is related to business people. And mostly business people know that a 40 real teacher is not going to, help them to achieve their goals. So there is market for all professionals, but try to stand your ground and show the benefits through testimonials, through what your clients tell about your services.
Look at another one. Do you agree that if a student doesn't want to pay what we charge them, they're not our niche? That was teacher Isabel. Thank you for asking, Isabel.
That's an interesting question, isn't it? Well, we may have to go into purchasing objections, which means sometimes people don't buy our services because there are some objections that might be implicit or explicit. So let me give an example. There is this business person, and it's my segment, not necessarily my niche, my segment. And this professional is looking for something very specific. For instance, English for job interview. And I'm going to charge something like for, I don't know, maybe for 6 classes, I'm going to charge something like 800 reais, 900 reais. Maybe this professional is not prepared to pay that amount of money straight away. So I'm going to offer him maybe payment through credit card, because that way I can make it easier for this professional. But then let's try to clarify the difference between segment and niche. Segment is like business English, teaching for kids. This is a segment. Niche is when you elect a persona. Who is this student? Is it a man or woman? Where does this person live? How much money does this student make? What type of preferences, what type of social causes this client fights for? This is a niche because then you can elect a persona. And this persona can even have a name. So we're doing this kind of experiment today, and we came up with a professional called Isabel, right? Isabel, Jessica. That's right. That's right. And this Jessica is a teacher. She lives in the countryside. She makes between 1,500 and 3,000 reais a month. And then we try to figure out what goes through her mind, what she thinks, what she wants for her life, what type of family she has, what type of hobbies. And then we think about this person, and we know that this individual has many other similar to her, but we only tap into this group of individuals' needs. And then we design a personalized course. This is a niche. So it's different from segment. Business English is a segment. But if you go to my my website, nextmove.com.br. There is a video over there. There's my YouTube channel, Nextmove. On YouTube, it's Nextmove Inglês Corporativo. There is a video about Joana and Carlos. Joana is a cooperative woman. She's in her middle 30s. She wants to get promoted. She wants to get ahead in her career. She makes about 8,000 reais a month, 10,000 reais a month, but she's very ambitious. She wants to hit 20,000 reais, but she just can't because her English is intermediate. She wants to get ahead. She lives in the south zone of São Paulo or any rich area in any big capital, and she doesn't want traditional classes. She doesn't want to go to English courses. She wants to learn, for example, English for presentations, English for negotiations, English for networking abroad. This is the sort of course you want. So then I'm talking about a niche. And when you talk about a niche, we're talking about higher pricing. The more niched your services are, more you can charge for them. This is a rule for the market. So for example, you have kind of wavy hair. So what do you prefer? Going to a hairdresser that takes care of any type of hair, or a hairdresser that is focused on your type of hair?
Oh, the specialized one.
Yes, but it's more expensive.
Well, I'll pay.
Yes.
Because it's quality.
Yes, absolutely.
It's worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's my point of view here. So hope I have covered this ground, Isabel. But if you have any questions, feel free to reply, okay?
Here, we've got another question from Isabel. Do you think we should tell them about our curriculum?
Yeah, great question. Can I go through this?
Yes, go.
Yes. It's funny, for example, I did my CELTA in 2010. And imagine that I tell my student, my prospect, I have a CELTA. My prospects want to think, oh, really? I have a Peugeot, or I have a Mitsubishi. So certificates don't mean anything to students per se. However, if you talk about the benefits of having those certificates, then we're talking about something different. Especially if you mention the certificates you have, the benefits you can provide your clients with, and these should be endorsed by testimonials. That's why it's very, very important you have your clients' testimonials on your fan page, on your website, on your Instagram, you name it. You talking about your service, okay, your clients talking about your services is a winning formula.
Well, it makes all the difference. The word of mouth, big difference. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions here. I'm sorry, but what's the main topic of this live? We are talking about pricing and pricing strategies, and we're talking numbers here. We're going to get a little bit deeper into numbers in a moment, right, Julio?
Absolutely.
I'm going to get really honest and open with you. I even have my pricing brackets to share. Can't wait. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions.
I only mentioned experience when they asked. Yeah, you can use your experience, Elizabeth, as a selling unique point. But again, this experience by itself doesn't mean anything. On the contrary, depending on the student, if you are a 20-year experienced teacher, it may be a negative aspect. Some clients, they are looking for, I would say, younger teachers, because in their bias, they believe younger teachers have more innovation, you see. So it's not experience per se, but what benefits you can bring to your classes because you are a seasoned professional. And this makes total difference. And if you have done a needs analysis, if you have tried to have a bird's view of your client's mindset, you can use that to make your sales easier.
Can I share one thing that has helped me a lot more than my curriculum? Actually, I have never had a parent ask me about my curriculum, but I've had parents wanting to see my social media. So like my Instagram, it has really, really, really helped, because on Instagram, we can show not only our means, like books and pens, we're talking about this today, right? But we can show our results. So we can show our students, of course I have a contract with the permission, image permission, we can show our students being successful in language learning and using language, in my case, to play, using language to communicate. And whatever it is that you're delivering, we can show that on our social media. And it's right there with you. It's like one button away.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, there was a question here. What if the student, okay, English House 43 is asking, what if you live in a town where most of them are tight-fisted? Okay, that's an interesting question. Well, I had a school in a small city in Minas Gerais. I had this school for about 5 years. So they didn't have money for English classes, but they had money for the bar every weekend. So it's a matter of priority. The thing is, we try, according to Érico Rocha, an entrepreneur and a teacher in this area, she says that we try to sell to 95% of the audience or to 5% of the audience. And who's this 5%? The part of the population who are ready to purchase the services. The other 95, they don't know they need the service. They don't know the connection between their lack of success in life and the lack of English they have. They can't understand the difference between your services and another teacher's services. So they get kind of lost and they end up not investing their money in your services. So that takes me to content marketing. Content marketing means that you create your marketing focusing on what we call jornada do cliente or client's journey. The first type of client, first type of prospect per se, is the person who can't connect the dots. This person doesn't know that by speaking English, this person has more chances of success. The second type of client, he or she knows that he doesn't speak English, that has an influence on his lack of success, but he doesn't know how to learn in such a way that he doesn't have to spend money. According to Vygotsky, and then if you go into zone of proximal development, there is a level of learning where you can learn by yourself. So maybe this prospect can learn vocabulary by himself or by herself. If you have content talking about how to learn vocabulary, and you have this content on your YouTube channel, on your Facebook a fan page, on your Instagram, for example, this person is going to start learning with you. And there is going to be a point, according to this zone of proximal development, that this person cannot learn anymore by him or herself. He or she needs more help. And guess who is going to have the preference for this benefit? You, because you established a relationship with this prospect. So if you start to create more content, meaningful content, niched content, we can attract prospects who are more willing to invest their money in our services. That's what I have been doing for maybe about 10 years or so, and it has worked very well for me and for many of the teachers I've trained in Julio Vieitas Consultoria Educacional's 2 years of existence.
Sounds so great. Let's see if we have any more questions. Ooh.
Should you give some of your
Prosh English greetings?
Oh.
You're trying to hear his accent.
Oh, come on. But thank you for the compliment anyway. Thank you.
That was sweet.
I'm not good at posting on Instagram or whatever. Okay, Isabel, would you like to delve into this? Because you are the Instagram queen.
Oh, you can call me Queen Bee. Okay, so the expert in anything was once a beginner. Okay, that quote is not mine. I can't give you the source right now, but you're not very good at anything until you begin doing it. So let's start working on our mindsets. Let's have a positive mindset. And instead of saying, I'm not good at this, let's say I'm working on it. Mm-hmm. So Isabel, why don't you tomorrow record a moment of your class that you're feeling really successful, and you can even like be playing the game. Yeah, you can even take a picture, and then explain what you were doing in the caption. That's how I started. explain what you were doing so other teachers can benefit from that experience, and just throw it out there. And then the day after, you do the same. And then the other day, when you're feeling really successful on a game or during an activity, you record a little video of it, and then you explain what's going on in the caption, so you can help other people. At the end of the day, if you're not growing on social media very fast, you're helping other teachers, and that's really the goal here.
Absolutely. So I think it was Isabel, right, who asked this
That
question.
was Isabel.
So Isabel, think about this. I live in São Paulo, and Bia lives here in Vitória, and we're shooting this live using Instagram. I don't know where you are in Brazil, but now you can have access to us. There are approximately 50 million people on Instagram, 100 million people on Facebook. So if you live in São Paulo, Vitória, it doesn't matter. But if you want to have clients all over Brazil, especially if you teach online, social media is the way to go. So she knows Instagram a lot better than I do, and I learn massively from her. So my key tip is try to surround yourself with people who know something better than you do. And then you can share this knowledge and you can grow. So this growth mindset is very important, and networking is key for that.
And also, you can always ask me whatever it is that you need. Y'all know I'm super open, super here for you.
Can I break the news about Instagram? So, B and I are going to launch a course on Instagram for promoting your services very, very, very soon. So stay tuned. More on this channel.
Great. Good coming for you.
Lana Vinhas is saying here. So there was another question over there, down there.
Hold up.
About certificates.
What
do you say when the client asks about certificates?
Well, have you had clients asking you that, Lana Vinhas? Because I haven't. If I had, I would be happy to show them whatever certificates it is that I have, but mostly to show them the results of my work. I can't. Have you ever had that situation happen to you, Julio?
Well, actually, they only ask about my background, for example, and then and then I try to play my cards well when it comes to that. So, for instance, when I'm talking to corporative people, I tell them that I'm also project manager. I tell them that I worked in a 9-to-5 office, which was the British Council. It was focused on education, but on the flip side, the routine was similar to theirs. So I talk about my certificates, I talk about my background, but I talk about it in such a way that the benefits are clear for them. So certificates for the sake of certificates don't mean anything, especially because they don't know what that means. They don't know what TKT means. They don't know what CELTA means. CELTA for them is a type of car. So it's pointless. But I would say go for certificates, especially the ones that are going to help you to yield more benefits. I don't have the guts to ask my students to write the testimonial, but I'm working on it. Isabel, do it. If you have like 10 students, ask all of them, 1 or 2 are going to do it for you. I had an interesting situation. I had this client, he's a teacher, an English teacher. He did the mentoring program with me, and now he's in the UK. And he was like sending a WhatsApp message to me, hey, I'm so happy I'm in the UK. I said, Felipe, for God's sake, I would love if you created a video testimonial for me. Could you do that? Simple as that. And he did the most brilliant and passionate video ever, talking about how much I helped him, etc. So I just asked. So you have the no. If you don't ask, nothing's going to change. So just ask them.
Why not go for the why? We have a very relevant comment here from Cris from English Creative Factory in Rio de Janeiro. Hi, Cris. Hi, everybody from Rio de Janeiro. Thank you for being here with us. And
that
I
was
dare
some
you.
YouTuber.
She said, and I dare to tell you that Instagram has a faster visibility, has more visibility than Facebook. That's so true. I was just telling Julio today, one of my favorite accounts on Instagram that's really, it inspires me on a daily basis. She has like 62,000 followers on Instagram, and she shares great content every day. And then on Facebook, she has like 500.
Mm-hmm.
And do Facebook people hate? Does that mean Facebook people hate you? No, it means people prefer Instagram to keep up with teaching activities for some reason. So let's use that on you. People are there right now. I actually find it, to be very honest, I find Instagram easier to navigate than Facebook. I feel like Facebook involves a lot more than just content.
True that.
Okay, we've got more questions.
Yes, my Blue Heaven, I know you from somewhere, my Blue Heaven. How to convince prospects to start taking online classes? Whenever I mention that I teach online, they kind of go, oh, uncertainly. Oh, right. So again, if you say all the great benefits of online teaching, it's just going to sound like the mother talking about the child. It's you selling your services. But if you start mentioning positive feedback from your clients, how much you helped your previous students to be successful speaking English, if you have like a website where you can show them the videos of them talking about the testimonials, that's going to be great. On the flip side, you can also mention that if you're willing, of course, you can give them a sort of experimental class if you're into that, in such a way that the person can have a taste of what it looks like to have an online class. The other thing I do is, I've done that as well, I charge a lot more for face-to-face classes, a lot more, in such a way that I kind of goad them to have online classes with me.
Right? Oh, sounds great. Okay. Also, what's her Instagram profile? Mine? I'm at Hellosimpleenglish, yeah. I'll be happy to connect with you. You can ask me whatever questions that you have. I'm really there.
I think we're gonna have time for 2 or 3 questions, and then we're gonna have to really delve into pricing strategies because I have kind of.
I want to talk numbers. I'm using Instagram much more right now. That's great. Elizabeth from Vix Idiomas, we love you. You're doing a great job.
This question is brilliant. What if I don't have previous students since I'm starting this now? Okay, so I'm gonna. Can I go?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
please. No, that's
monopolizing this.
No, go on, please.
There is a strategy. I mentioned this strategy in my mentoring programs. I've never mentioned this on a live session. So this is kind of new. Sometimes when I'm starting a new project, something new, I try to find strategic clients. And depending on the magnitude of the project, I teach these people for free. And I try to get their feedback, honest, genuine feedback on the program I'm teaching. So imagine that you're new in a city and there is this large multinational there, and you try to collect maybe 5, 6 students. You're going to teach a week for free, 2 weeks for free, a specific program, let's say English for networking, and then you teach them. And then after that, you collect their feedback so you can use in your social media. That's something I do on a regular basis when I have a new program that no one has taken before. So I already started with testimonials and feedback.
It's great. It does work. Word of mouth again. Can you talk a little bit about packages?
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. So let's talk about packages. Packages from me only make sense when you're talking about pricing column. Pricing column basically is you have like 3 columns. So imagine here you have the basic plan. Here you may have the plus plan, and here you have the premium plan or the platinum plan. The idea is I charge for 1 class a week, for example. It starts with 600 reais a month. The basic plan are personalized classes. There is a sort of feedback. The person can send me questions through email during the week, for example, and the person cannot cancel classes. The intermediate package is about 680 reais, 700 reais, and the person has all the benefits of the basic plan, but the person also has a digital platform, an online platform that between you and me, we call it Google Classroom. It's for free for us. We don't have to pay Google for that benefit. The person can also send me questions on my WhatsApp number. So it's another huge benefit. And the person can cancel one class or two classes a month. I don't remember very well right now. The person has more feedback, and the person has a different type of assessment. So the first package is continuous assessment. The intermediate one, there are more like, let's say, simulations, business simulations. The third, the premium one, the person can cancel as many classes as he or she wants, but the person has to cancel within a 24-hour period. The person also has more feedback. Instead of monthly feedback, there is weekly feedback. There are more reports, and they send reports to the person or to the HR on the development. And I also provide this person with a premium course. So I have an online course. I filmed this course. And let's say, for example, negotiations in English or useful techniques for presentations in English. And the person has access to this content for free. So packages make sense to me when you do that. And the underlying reason for this strategy is that, as I mentioned in the beginning of this live, prices by themselves don't mean anything. 10 reais, is it expensive or cheap? I don't know, depends on the service and depends on what or how much other stuff costs. When I show the person the basic plan, 600 reais, the prospect might think it's expensive, it's not for me. But then this same prospect sees that the intermediate package is 700 and the platinum or premium is like 750 or 800 reais. Out of the blue, 600 reais is not expensive anymore. It's kind of cheap compared to the others. So this kind of, I wouldn't call it an illusion, but a comparison between the services kind of persuade and convince the prospect to close the deal with you. And this is a kind of MBA study. So clients tend to purchase more services from providers who use this type of pricing. Some critics may say that we are manipulating people. I don't agree, especially because we live in a country where people put more value on anything but education. So prospects come towards us or comes to us with a huge bias. When we do that, we are in a way creating a sort of going around this bias, which is typical of our clients, especially Brazilian clients.
Okay, so there have been a few like questions on no cancellations, one replacement a month would be fair. Well, it's really up to you. You're the one who knows your market and your niche, your public.
Mhm.
You're the one who knows how far you can go and how much like it's how worth it is it for you to offer this or that, and how much extra you can charge to offering this or that benefit.
Mhm.
Julio
Absolutely.
does have some great, somebody asked for a model.
Mhm.
Julio does have some great stuff on his website.
Yeah, I have an article on this topic. If you go to my website, I think it's pricing column. If my memory doesn't let me down, that's the name of it. But there are other articles about sales objection, about pricing and planning. We should delve into this as well.
Yes.
We should talk about this.
Yes.
So one replacement a month would be fair, no? Well, it depends on the client. It depends on your schedule. It depends on your availability. Because I mean, you have to set the rules as well. So it's not only the market; it's you. So I wouldn't call it fair. I would call it possible. Is it possible for you? Is it possible for you? Is it possible for me?
Yeah.
I think that's the key question. So let's talk about pricing per se, right?
Money. Yes. Yes. Let's do money. we have a very special person here with us. She's an amazing professional, and she owns her own studio, her own English studio in here in Vitória, and that is Miriam.coelho. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. And she's also willing to share her pricing with us. So make sure to get started.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you my numbers. These are my current 2018 numbers. I flip my prices every time the year changes. So I raise them a little bit because the gas cost goes up. There's inflation. All costs go up every day, and it gets more and more expensive for me to teach. My costs go up, so my clients' costs need to go up too. It makes only sense. So right now, what I'm doing is for private classes, they come to my space. I don't go to my students' houses anymore. I don't have the time to do that, unfortunately. So they come to my Hellosimpleenglish place, and I charge them from 100 to 150 an hour. That depends on what they're getting. If they have me on WhatsApp, it really depends also on how many classes a week. It's a full conversation with the parents about what is it that they need, how many times, how many classes do they need, for how long do they intend to do that. It's really a conversation, but I have that from 100 to 150 an hour. Okay, that's for private classes. But what's been really working for me is groups. Because in groups, you're really, he goes, this guy's you're making the best of your time because you have more people in there, and you can charge a better price because you have more people in there. You also have more interaction, more opportunities of language interaction. You have more opportunities of play. You can create a community. It's just the benefits are endless, both for you, for the parents, and for the children. It's a win-win-win situation. So these are my pricing brackets right now. Are you ready?
I need to show.
You ready? Yeah, should I show you here or here? I'm so confused. Okay, let's do it here, and then I'll do it over there. Okay, so this is Hellosimpleenglish. Can you see it? Hellosimpleenglish language acquisition program. And I've had some huge help from amazing professionals all over. And to structure this is why I'm so happy to share it with you. Okay, so this is for 1 hour, once a week. Again, this is them coming to me, okay? I don't go to their houses. This is the amount. So it's $300 a month. That's really affordable for once a week classes. That's 1 hour. $350 if they're doing an hour and 30 minutes once a week, and $400 if they're doing 2 hours. So it's like what Julio says, if this looked expensive, then they go. If they look down, well, that first option wasn't that expensive anymore. And also, I do plans. So these are kind of packages too. If you leave me six checks, so that's a semester plan, you have 6% discount. And if you leave a whole year, like if you leave the checks for a whole year, you get 10% discount. 10% discount is big money, right?
It's huge. It's huge.
That's a lot of discount. But it's great for you because you're gonna know how much is coming in, when it's coming in. Like it's safe. It's a safe place for you, and it's great for the parents as well. And then another source of income that I've discovered is materials. I don't use regular course books. I don't believe in them. Oh yeah, I have to show it here as well. Okay, so these are my pricing brackets. I was just saying this is for 1 hour a week, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours a week, 2 times, and then if you go down, you get more time. And then here, this is my pricing for the month. $300 for 1 hour, $350 for 1.5, and $400 for 2 hours twice a week. They get 6% discount on a semestral plan, and then 10% discount on an annual plan. And then this is my material cost, $300 for once a week. This is for full semester, so it really makes sense for the parents. And then $400 for twice a week, because I'm spending more on materials, so I also gotta I have to charge more. And this is me producing their own materials. It's customizing. The service becomes more customized. I don't believe in course books, like I just said. I have nothing against course books. If you work with course books, they are great. They don't work for me, Bia. And so this is a way I found to raise my income and make that extra time that I put on designing materials worth it. Okay?
So there's some questions here.
Oh, okay.
So I can see this is a testimonial for me from Jailton. I can say for sure that Julio's mentoring program has brought me so many students that I'm unable to deal with since I have today. Short windows of time for new students. So grateful for him. Jailton, thank you very much. Jailton was my mentee last year.
Nice.
And Jailton is in the countryside of Ceará, right, Jailton? Close to Fortaleza, but in the countryside. So it works, guys. If you use management, it helps. Lana Vin's a nice strategy here. There's a question for you. Why don't you believe in regular course books?
Well, they don't work for me as a teacher. First of all, from my personal experience as a learner, they didn't work for me. I just couldn't connect to textbooks. I felt like I was learning grammar and maybe how to write and read and how to structure a sentence here and there, but I didn't feel like I was learning the language. Language is alive. It was too alive for me for a course book. This is how I felt. Again, I have nothing against course books. If you're using one, if it's rocking your world, keep on doing it, but you can also charge for materials, okay?
There's another question here for you. But these prices are one-to-one class.
Yeah, my one-to-one classes go from 100 to 150, and I do young learners only. So they go from 2-year-old to all the way up to like 10, maybe 11, 12, but then it kind of not be
And then there's an interesting thing here when we talk about groups, one-to-one versus groups. And teachers try to make 80 reais the hour, 100 reais the hour, 150 the hour. And I can tell you that you can go even further. You can make 500 reais the hour, 800 reais the hour, 1,000 reais the hour if you have groups. But again, if you teach kids, I mean, that's going to be easier. But if you're teaching adults, you can create specific courses for adults. For example, you can create IELTS courses for adults. You can create specific needs courses for adults. For instance, a course I teach all the time, and I make between 800 and 1,000 reais the hour, which is presentation skills for business people. So I don't teach English per se. I teach them how to be more persuasive, presenting their ideas in English. So they're not looking for English classes. They're looking for presentation skills in English. And I have like maybe 10 people, 12 people using Zoom. I mean, students all over Brazil, and I make good money doing that. So if I can do it, you can do it as well. I'm no better than anyone here. No one is better than anyone. It's just a matter of using the right tools.
He's so real.
Oh, he is. Oh, yeah, he is.
Come on.
Also, did you think Julio Vieitas could laugh? Things you only learn in lives. Okay.
Can I mention something about pricing?
Yes, please.
Something I always recommend teachers do. It's kind of instinctive for teachers to charge what other teachers are charging. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I have to pay attention to is, if you're charging 80 reais the hour, and then you think, okay, this is my money, this is where problems start to arise. Because that's not your money. Part of that 80 reais is your money. The other part is your entrepreneurship, because you have to think like a company. So let me give an example. Imagine that I think that my prolabore is going to be 60 reais the hour. I'm just giving an example. And then I have to think about, let's say, I would like to have vacation. and vacation is going to be 88%, 8% over 60 reais. So I'm talking about something like 5 reais, 4 or 5 reais. I would like to have money for my CPD. I would like to do a CELTA. I would like to do any other course. So I'd like to allocate resources for that. So I'm going to increase 10% over the 60. So maybe now I'm talking about 74 reais. I would like to have money for 13º, maybe. I would like to be happy in December. So I would like to save money. Every class paid 8% is going to go towards a fund called 13º. Let's imagine I would like to have money for my marketing. I would like to have money for technology, for buying new equipment for my online classes. And then you go on about it. You think about all the elements you need for your entrepreneurship, for you as a company. And then when student pays you, 60 reais is mine. The other money goes to funds. It may be poupança, it may be fundo de tesouro direto, you name it. But the important thing is don't spend that money. And then, as every client is having a class with you, you are creating a fund. And my criticism towards calendário de aulas, for example, is that, oh, the student is going to pay in 12 installments, but I'm going to teach in 10 months or 11 months, is that sometimes clients disappear. And if you have this type of fund, even if the client disappeared, the investment for the funds were already made. So you have money allocated for everything you need as a company. This strategy is key, and I have been using this for like years, and it has been very successful. And again, I would like to resort to a real example. Felipe Lopes is now in England doing a methodology course only because he did exactly that. Every class he taught, there was a fund, a money going to a fund called Going to England 2018. That was his dream, and now he made it through. True. Why? Because he was saving money through every class he was teaching. So try to think, try to entertain that thought because it really, really helps.
I think, Julio, is again, it's mindset.
Isn't it?
It's mindset. You just have to adapt, readapt, and talk to people and read. And yeah.
There is an article on my website talking exactly about this. And the interesting thing here is that, in a way, we are kind of malnourished in terms of entrepreneurship. No one that goes through latest courses take one subject talking about entrepreneurship.
Oh, no.
So, in a way, we learn to work for the state or for another institution. We don't learn how to work for ourselves. And I can tell you that working for yourself can make you very successful, can make you thrive financially speaking, in terms of life quality, you name it. But you have to work to make it happen. And not work hard, you have to work smart. And management helps massively.
So great, I got goosebumps. Well, Miriam just touched a very important point of this talk, which is connecting, talking. This is why we're doing this live here today. We want to keep this real, and we want to be as open as we can with you all. Because when I hear somebody's charging 40 reais, and if they have the full competence, if they have taken all the steps to be the best teachers that they can, it hurts me because I want to see that person doing better. If you can do better, then let's get together, work on our numbers, and do better. The teaching community as a whole wins.
Yes, that's true. There is market for everyone. There is market for absolutely everyone.
Okay, do you know what I'm dying to hear about? Her prices.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I have not organized anything. I wasn't even supposed to be here. But what I've been doing for the last year and a little bit over a year and a half, I do monthly packages, monthly fees my students pay. So if they come once a week, so that gives them 4 classes a month, they will pay me, well, they used to pay me 300 reais a month, and now it's 320. So I've been changing and raising my hourly rates. If they come twice, then it goes, the hourly rate goes a little bit lower, and they pay me, used to pay me 560, now it's 600. So 320 once a month, 600 twice a week, sorry. And then 3 times a week, it goes a little bit lower again. And so in the end is, if I charge the month, but there is an hourly rate, which goes lower 5 guys. If they come, the more they come, the cheaper it
It
gets.
gets.
Okay, again, this is the client going to her studio,
Yes, yeah.
spending their
I do
gas,
not go. I
their
do not
time.
go to them. They come to me. They're only adults, and yeah. What else? That's good.
It's great. I think you narrowed it down. So we're pretty much going like, if you go to her lowest price, I think you're gonna touch like 75 reais maybe. But
Yeah.
that means the student is there 3 times a week, and so if we could all agree, if we could be in every teacher's house tonight and all agree on not charging lower than 70 reais, oh my God, it would be a dream.
And it would be a dream for you.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
We've been doing it, so you could too.
So I think we should wrap up, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to final questions. And so unless you don't have any final questions, I'm going to be expecting some. Teacher Danny, please. Okay, so final questions. Well, so how would you summarize this live of ours? Which key points would you bring into the open now?
Okay, let me start that by let's connect. Let's get out there and let's start being open to each other and be like straightforward, like, hey, I'm charging this much. Always open yourself first if you want to have another teacher opening themselves to you. So, hey, I'm charging this much and I would really like some feedback on it. What do you think? How do you feel about it? What are you charging and why? And how can we increase that price together? It's the end of the year, it's the time, and it's the perfect time to let your clients know, like, hey, next year I'm improving my services, and this is why I'm raising my prices, and my costs are going up as well. And you can mention all the CPD, that all the time that you've been investing in yourself, and that could be online, that could be going to conferences, that could be taking one of Julio's amazing online courses. And just show them that it's worth it, and they're gonna stick to you because they know the quality of your work, they know what you're delivering. Don't be afraid to charge what you're worth.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, off to you.
You say you mean you mean.
Yeah, like, go on.
Off to you.
I have a quick comment to make. We had an amazing weekend, an amazing Saturday of with Rusty Sullivan, Consultoria chapter. And my husband has recently started teaching with me at the studio, and he made one comment. He said, I am so amazed of how much you guys support each other and how much you teachers are there for each other, and you don't see each other as enemies but as allies. So it's beautiful. We're here. Going back to let's connect. Going back to let's talk prices. Let's help each other. We're not here to judge anyone. We're here to grow together because there is a market out there. There are lots of people for everyone, and each person has their own special qualities and special knowledge to provide to specific and special students. So let's keep it up.
That's true. That's true. So that reminds me of an article I wrote for Richmond Share, and they talked about competition. So in a way, all of us, we might have to compete for the same market, but we are not rivals. We are not enemies. We're here to support each other. So if you have more clients, I'm happy for you because there is market for everyone. Teacher Danny is asking here, how much could you raise? Some people use Select. Okay, so I don't think Select should be the criterion here, and this is my professional opinion. I would say the client's perception of value is the main criterion, because maybe Select is like 3%, 5%, you name it, but you can charge 10% more if you create a new benefit. So just for the sake of an example, if you don't use Google Classroom with your students, if you don't provide them with the digital platform, do it tomorrow, and then you can charge 10% more. I don't care about Saliki. I care about the benefits I provide my clients with. So the benefits can really set how much you can charge. And if your current clients cannot pay for your services anymore, look for richer niches. There are plenty of people in the market willing to pay more for your English classes. They might not be in your city. They might be in capitals, in huge cities, or maybe in small ones. But you need to use marketing tools to prospect more clients. This is, crucial. If you don't use social media, you are behind.
Teacher Danny, can I put a number to that? I learned this from Claire Venables, the amazing Claire Venables. You find her on Instagram as Active English for Kids. What I do is every year I increase 10 reais on my private classes.
I did, but I didn't increase 10, I increased 5 guys.
Yeah.
But
You can do, whatever
whatever you feel is.
It's really like, it's really a lot about your niche as well. Like, are you dealing with class A, class B, class C, with everyone? Like, how much can your clients afford for you to increase, and how much have your costs increased as well? You really gotta know your costs and how much more you're spending, so your teaching makes sense.
Absolutely. José Galvão is saying here, I'm just about to start teaching online. José Galvão, a tip. If you go to my website, the free download section, there is a free ebook on how to start teaching online. Great tips for you there. So you download it for free. So make yourself at home over there. Other tips, other ebooks as well. So all yours, all of them for free.
Ooh, also his contract. Like this might have been. I'm sorry.
I was scared. What was it?
Also his contract. Y'all know me. Don't look at me like that. He's got a great contract on his website, totally for free, and it has really helped me increase the professionalism of my classes, and I felt like it really changed how the parents saw my product.
I'm getting shy.
Well, go to his website. Is it juliovietas.com? Yeah.
.com.br.
juliovietas.com.br. Download his contract. Take a look at it and edit it for you, so it fits your needs. Adjust whatever numbers or languages you feel like you need to adjust. If you need to have it in Portuguese for your, is the contract in Portuguese?
Oh yeah.
Oh great.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. So it's already in Portuguese. Download it and then edit it, so you can make your services look more professional and therefore charge more, because you are worth it.
Okay, so I think we're heading towards the end, right?
Yeah.
So guys, thank you very much for being with us. It has been, utmost pleasure to being here, sharing knowledge, learning with you as well. And we are really thrilled to, on a Monday, right? No, today's Monday. What day is today?
It's
Today's Monday. So yeah, because I'm not in São Paulo, so I'm kind of lost.
24/7. He works all day.
That's true. That's kind of true. So yeah, on a Monday night, you're here. It's 10:15. So that means a lot. That means a lot to us, means a lot to you as professionals. So congratulations, and we're always here for you all. Thank you very much for being with us.
Great. And let's connect. If you're here, this is Julio Vieitas. You're going to find him on Instagram as
Julio Vieitas Consultoria.
Julio Vieitas Consultoria.
Educacional.
This is Miriam Coelho. You'll find her on Instagram as
teacher.mirian.coelho.
Yeah, definitely follow her. I love her daily tips. I do. I always vote. And I'm Bea from Hello Simple English. You find me at Hello Simple English, and I'm there for you. Let's connect. Okay?
So thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.